in AKCA from 84 to 88, 4 years. After serving here, he got job in DTC, Tyagaraja College of Engineering. And he is an expert in teaching mathematics subjects more than 30 years. Very good expertise in Maple, MATLAB, Mathematica, and conducted more than 17 seminars, workshops, published more number of publications in his credit. So he is also one of my very good close friend. I invite Dr. Nyanraj sir to take over the mic stage. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. This is Dr. V. Nyanraj, Professor of Mathematics, Tyagaraja College of Engineering, Madurai. First of all, I thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to give present a seminar on introduction to R. I started my career first in Kalasalingam Polytechnic. Sir, my voice is hearing, sir, or echoed, sir?
It is audible.
It is
Audible. Audible. Okay, sir. I have started my career and after completing my MSc at Kalasalingam Polytechnic. Then I served 2 years in Kalasalingam College of Engineering. Then I shifted to Tyagaraja College of Engineering. Before this, I completed my postgraduate diploma in computer applications. Teaching is my profession, but computer is my fashion. So I have learned a lot of mathematical software like Maple, Mathematica, MathCAD. These are some of the softwares used for uh, mathematical functions. It can be used to solve differentiation, integration, differential equations, vector calculus, all type of mathematical calculus can be done using this. Similarly, there are several software available for statistical purposes called SPSS, Statistica, SysStat, and some of the fluid dynamics softwares are like COMSOL, Phoenix, for Fluent, etc. But all these software are commercially to be purchased. To get a license, we have to spend a lot of amount of rupees. But there are several open source software available which can serve the same purpose. But one of the major disadvantages, they have no support for any doubts or clarification. But there are a lot of forums available to discuss the matter of any doubts can be clarified using the discussion forums. One of the open source software is called as R software. This is mainly developed for solving statistical calculations. And this is developed by Ross Ilaka and Robert Gentleman at the University of Auckland. And these are the gentlemen who are behind the developing the R software. They have published a paper in Journal of Computational Graphics and they have called this as a R language. So these are some of the history behind this. First, it is initially developed by AT, and there is a language called S language. This may be called as father of R software. This is developed at Bell Laboratories, and these are the various versions of this software. Initially, it is Photon based. Then they have shifted to Java, S plus, etc. Now, the father of our software is S, and mother is Scheme. So the Scheme is a language, traditional developed language by Louis and J. Sessionman, and the Scheme plus S syntax is equal to R. I can very well say that the software may be named as R because it may be the initials of the two gentlemen who developed the software, R. Ilaga or gentleman. I assume that because of this only the software is named as R software. Now we see some history of R software. It is the statistical programming is developed by Bell at 1976. It is used to develop in research and data analysis projects. Later, it will be licensed, make this licensed software and called as S plus. Then the gentleman R gentleman and Ilaga developed R software. And since then, 1997, there is a core developing team called R core team. This team develops, contributes to the development of these R settlements. And every year, various packages are added in every couple of months. This will be where all the R software is available in R package system called CRAN. So this is application of comprehensive R archive network. You can freely download this software and you can use it. And you can also contribute any code to this. If you are able to develop some software using this R software, you can also send it to this archive, and this may be useful for other researchers to use your code. Now, what is R? R is a programming language like C, C++, Java. It does all the programming construct in the programming language. And it also may be called as a statistical package because mostly it is centered over statistics. This would maybe called as a statistical package. We can call it as an interpreter because an interpreter is a language in which every command will be run at a time. Only at a time, only one command can be evaluated. And then like C, C++ programs, Java are use a compiler. That is, we use write a set of lines, and then all the lines will be compiled in a single set, single stroke. But here, every line will be typed, and then output will be displayed in the next line. It is an open source, freely distributed. I can download and use it. It is not a database, even though it is used for statistical analysis. It is not a database like Oracle, SQL plus, etc. It is not a collection of block boxes like MATLAB contains a collection of block boxes. It have for every special purpose. It has you have to buy the special block box. For OD solver, you have to buy OD solver, PD solver. If you use for digital signal processing, there is a package available for this. For fuzzy logic, there will be separate black box. You have to buy all the black boxes along with the basic MATLAB software. And it is even though it maybe look like spreadsheet, and it is not a spreadsheet software package. It is not commercially supported, but now commercial versions are available. If you buy the commercial version, then customer support will be available at any time. So what is R? It is freely available. Summarize this freely available language. It is environment for statistical computing and graphics. We can use it for data handling, storage, all the type of data like numeric, textual, logical data. Any type of data can be handled. It uses matrix algebra, table expressions. They also use classes like Java, C++, etc. And it has a programming constructs like loops, looping, conditional statements like if statement, branching statements, subroutine statement, etc. It may be much look like Excel and SPSS, which is a statistical software, but it is much better R. Oh, no, what is R not? I summarize this. It is not a database and it is no spreadsheet view of data, but connects Excel, MS Office. It is no preface commercial support. Now, I see that I have seen that several authors contribute to the R core, that is CRAN. Um, so far, about 14,965 packages available and developed by different authors. Each is used for different purposes. Every researcher use their project develop programs using R software and then develop a package and then they have uploaded to this CRAN. So there are nowadays there are 14,000 and about 15,000 packages are available. Each has a specific purpose. For example, if you want to use graphical and graph theory purpose, and they get to draw the graph or adjacency matrix, incidence matrix, and graph minimization, etc., there are software available. For the image processing or data analysis, we can use this specialized software available here. But most of the services are statistics purpose. So why we use this? So let us see the our command and Unix environment. This is Unix environment, but you are going to use only Windows environment where screen will be look like this. It is split into 4 windows. The first window we have to type. This is a editor in which we can edit the command and run the command. This is console. Here we have to type one command at a time. Here you can see the data, workspace data, as well as the history of previous commands. In this section, we have files, plot, and packages. If you want to, so this is a script editor, and this is console, in which programs can be typed, and these new variables and workspaces are available here. And to view help, plots, files, and manage packages. Suppose you want to install a package at any time, if your system is connected to internet, you can download a particular package using this packages command. If you click package and type the name of the package and install it, it will be installed at a time. So this is another view of editor. To run a particular command, you click here run lines. If you want to run all the lines at a time, you select all the lines and then you click run all. We pass on to how this R software can be used for statistical data processing. So this is where this is a summary of some basic distributions available in the R software. Denorm. This is a normal density function. By default, it will be mean 0 and standard deviation 1. That is standard normal. But if you can also mention mean equal to mean and standard deviation different, then we can mention it here. We can find the uh, the distribution of a particular variable. This means that p of x equal to p of x equal dx. This command represents probability of x equal to x. And next command is p norm. This is cumulative normal distribution. So this is in our mathematical notation. So this is probability of x less than or equal to x. And to find out probability of x greater than or equal to x, we can use another argument called lower dot tail equal to false. Usually, lower tail here is enabled and it is true always. And if you enable lower tail as false, it will give probability of x greater than or equal to x. So this is R norm, means random normal distribution. So it creates a random set of normal numbers, normal distributed random numbers. Here this is n is a number. We can give the number as 30 or 40, etc. Mean 0, standard deviation 1. And similarly for binomial distribution, this we have to remember these three letters. Q norm is quantile norm. It is percentile. The 25 percentile data or 50% or 70%. Any number of percentage can be distributed using this Q norm function. And we have to remember these four letters D, P, Q, R. These four letters are useful for any language, any distribution. For binomial distribution, D binom. Here the arguments are x, size, and probability. So P means distribution function, probability of x equal to x. P norm means probability of x less than or equal to x. Q norm means percentile, 20 percentile or percentile, 50% or 40%, etc. And R norm means R binom means random binomial distribution. This is P similarly for Poisson distribution. It has only two parameters. We know lambda only, lambda mean DPQR. This is uniform distribution, D uniform, P uniform to R. And these are some of the basic statistical functions used mean, standard deviation, median, quantile, etc. Mean, x, comma, the three, it has three, I have written as three arguments, x, trim equal to 0. This means that after computing mean of the distribution, it will convert it into, if it is between the decimal points are 0.0 to 0.5, it will reduce us to next number. So this is called the use of trim function. NA equal to RM. NA dot RM equal to false means sometimes data while collecting the data, some of the particular values may not be available. In that case, we can write the data as NA. So it's, some data should may contain NA. In that case, we want to find the mean of the variable. We have to remove the NA variables. For this, we use NA dot RM equal to false. So next, we find out standard deviation using ST command, median, quantile, range, some difference, minimum, maximum. This you have already discussed in the previous class. Now I have these are some of the commands available. So to remember how to remember this, already I have already told that DPQR, D for density, P for probability, Q means quantile, R means pseudo random. Now I fit some of the distribution functions. Well, this is not available in the standard package, standard R package, but it requires fit distart plus distribution plus. So to use this commands below this, you would require to install the package called fit distart plus. Uh, After installing this, you can use import this library, and then you can use the commands. First, you have to set the seed as 1 because I'm going to generate random normal numbers. Whenever we generate random normal numbers, we have to seed with from where we are going to start. Seed number 1, that is the starting value of the value. From this starting value, it will generate 50 random numbers with mean 0 and standard deviation 1. Data equal to 50 random numbers 0 to 1. F1 is fit distribution, that normal distribution. This is normal distribution curve. This is logistic normal, and this is Cauchy distribution FC. I plot this in the curve using this command plot dist. This is available in FDistR plus. So this will display the empirical and theoretical density plots, quantile to quantile plot, P empirical, theoretical. This is cumulative distribution, and this is empirical PP plot. So fitting Poisson distribution. Let us go to the software. I use the software and demonstrate some of the commands for developing for use in the. Now, can you change? Can you find the R Studio window? Sir,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
okay, okay, sir. So now I am presenting the R Studio window, and in which I am going to run some of the commands. I use another package called the dist DSTR package. To import this, I use the command called library, and I run this, and I am going to plot binomial distribution. Binomial distribution. I find the mean of the value, and I plot the curve. It is showing the previous command. It is not changed. Sorry. There is something. I use there is, so these are the values of these are output of this binomial distribution. I zoom this. So this will fit the cumulative distribution. cumulative distribution function, cumulative distribution, and quantile distribution of binomial distribution function. Next, I take some of the commands. Probability distribution function. This is available in any standard package. Suppose I want to find binomial distribution for probability of x equal to 4, size 12, and p equal to 0.2. If I run this command, the value will be value is 0.1328. This can be obtained another way. So this is probability of 0 to 4, 0 to 4 ordered. 0 probability of x equal to 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. This can be performed using pnorm, because pnorm is probability of x less than or equal to 4. It will find out some cumulative of probability of 0 to 4, 0, 1, 2, 3 as well as 4. So if I run this, it will give us in the same value. The same value 9.9274. Now next I take Poisson distribution. P poise, it is only one parameter lambda. So P poise 16, probability of x less than or equal to 16. If you run this, I got the answer as 0.89, 89%. This is another point, lower tail false. This means that probability of x greater than or equal to 16. So you find that the total probability is 1. So that probability of x less than or equal to 16 plus x less than or greater than or equal to 16, total comes to total probability 1. Next, we use R uniform distribution, random uniform distribution. Uniform distribution with the minimum 1 and the maximum 4. Is equal to 1 by 3. And this is normal distribution with mean 80, with mean 72, standard is 15.2. Lower equal to 5 means the probability of x greater than or equal to 84. Now we take all the commands, run all the commands in a normal distribution. Suppose we don't know how to use this normal distribution, we can type ram pnorm, help pnorm. It will give the help for the normal distribution function, dnorm, pnorm, qnorm. What are the parameters available? This will be displayed in this panel. You can alternatively use question mark followed by pnorm. This also brings out the same panel. Now to find out probability of x less than or equal to 70, use pnorm, q equal to 70, mean 75, standard deviation 5, and lower tail equal to true. Even though if you omit this, it will work, because we are going to find out probability of x less than or equal to 15. Throughout this tutorial, I take mean equal to 25 and standard deviation equal to 5, and it is a random normal distribution having mean 75 and standard deviation 5. So this is for probability of x greater than or equal to 85. 85, it is only 2%, and P norm Q equal to 1. This is standard normal distribution. So it is 15% or 16%. Another command Q norm. So this is quantile norm. That is 25% of the data is below this. The normal distribution, 25% of the data will be below this level, below 34. And here next I create a sequence of numbers from 55 to 95 incremented by 0.25. That is starting at 55, 55.25, 55.5, etc. up to 95. I create a sequence and I store this here in X. If you find this, it will be from 55.55 to 90. Now I find out the the normal data. I send all this data into this normal distribution. Um, so dense equal to denorm X. X means 55. All these data will be included here with the mean 75 and standard deviation 5. So I want to verify whether the data is normally distributed. For this, I plot the curve using plot curve. Here we find that the curve is normally distributed. This is another type of plot. If you omit this type equal to L, it will be plotted using circles or the dots. And if you use line, the data is joined by line, and here to use type equal to L. And I also given here color equal to dark blue. Next, plot curve, same curve with color with different color with the problem. This is a density property density function with different levels also different. Now I want to draw the line in the center of this data. For this, use a AB line. It will plant the center at the center. It will plant a line. Then R random. This is random number. I now I plot a histogram of this data. This is a histogram of data. Even though the dot plot or line plot will be seems to be normal distributed, but this plot will be not be normal because the normal sample size is very less. If you increase the sample size to 1000, and if you run this command and you plot this, it will be normal distribution. You find that it is normal now. But if you take only limited number of data, and plot this using histogram data, it will not be look like normal. But after taking 1000 data, it will be normal distributed. Now I go to testing of hypothesis. I take a classroom problem. Suppose the manufacturer claims that the mean lifetime of light bulb is more than 10,000 hours, and in a sample of 30 light bulbs, it was found that they only last 9,900 hours on average. And assume the standard deviation, population standard deviation 120 hours, and at 5% level, can we reject null hypothesis? So here we find that mu is greater than or equal to 10,000. Assume that null hypothesis, and we have usual method as usual. We have to find out we given x bar or mean is 9,900, mu 10,000, sigma 12, n equal to 30. We know the formula z equal to x minus x bar by sigma by root n. Use this formula. This is implemented using the R command here. And if you run this, I find that the z value is minus 45. We can also analyze data in the another way called p value, using p value also. I use another method called p value. So and here I find that the test statistic is minus 4.5, which is less than the critical value of minus 1.5. So at 5% level, we reject the claim that the mean lifetime of bulb is above 10,000 hours. So this is using another method, it is p-value method. The p-value method, we find that the p-values tend to be less than 5%. So we reject the null hypothesis. This is left tail test. Similarly, I take right tail test, in which x bar is 2.1, mu is 2, sigma 0.25, n35 is equal x minus x bar by sigma by square root of n, and and the result z equal to 2.36. So this is calculated value. The table value is q now 1 minus 90 alpha percent. Quantile norm, if it is 5%, and quantile norm of 95%. The value is 1.64. So the answer, the statistic is 2.36. This is greater than the critical value of 1.64. So at 5% level of significance, we reject the claim that there is at most 1 grams of saturated fat in a cookie. So this problem is food label cookie bag states at most 2 grams of saturated fat, but these are the observed data, and we find that the result is we reject null hypothesis given by the manufacturer. So this is two sample analysis. Investigation of two kinds of photocopying machine are showed that 80% failures of first kind machine took average of 75.2 minutes to repair with standard deviation of 20 minutes, and when 80 failures, second machine of 82 times. Level of significance is 5%. So given x1 bar is 75.2, x2 bar 82.8, and sigma 1 20, sigma 2 22, n1 80, n2 80. Z equal to the formula. Here formula applied, x1 bar minus x2 bar by square root of sigma 1 square by n1, sigma 2 square by n2. And find the calculated value. Find that it is minus 2.286. And the critical value at 5% level is, this is a table value at 5% level. is minus 1.95. So I have taken only large sample only. Similarly, the small sample test can be used, for which I am going to take case study. I am sharing. I want to share a new share, but it is not possible. Sir, can you help me how to resume new share?
So you can stop sharing option. You can select stop sharing.
Stop.
You move the
Okay, sir.
cursor to the top. You move the
Okay,
cursor
sir.
to the top.
Okay, sir. Now I present a new
Once again, you click
resume share.
share screen. Share screen. Share. First you close it, then you open a brush.
Share is stop sharing.
Stop sharing. Then you bring the cursor to the bottom.
Bottom, sir.
The share
Then
screen option will be there.
Yes, sir.
You click
And
that one, then your screen will be opened.
And I want to present new presentation.
It is already opened in the desktop. It is already opened, or you minimize and open that first one.
It is already it is open. Already it is in the desktop, sir.
And then you share screen. You go to the screen, and maybe identifying may be difficult. You can search that one with the help of a PDF or PPT, like that you can share. If you know the first page content, you can easily identify.
Now, can you see, sir?
It is loading. It is loading.
Oh.
It is loading. It takes much time. Better you stop and press. Start pressing.
Stop share, sir.
No. Yeah, if it is possible to stop the sharing option now, so the
Stop,
screen does not. Then
you
start a press. Sometimes it will hang.
Yes,
Share screen in the bottom.
Okay, sir. Again, I am sharing, sir.
Yes, now it is coming.
Coming, sir.
Yes, case study is coming.
Okay, sir.
You can present now. If you want, you can maximize.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Now we are viewing, sir.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, sir.
It's visible.
So now
it's visible.
Yes. Okay, so now I am presenting a case study using T distribution and analysis of variance. I have taken up a data set for which we are going to use some specific commands. To read the data set, I use read CSV or to verify the data set contains several variable names. To access a particular variable, I use data set name followed by variable name. And to see the head, that is first few lines of the data set, use head. And mean standard deviation, summary cities, that is already known to you. And histogram can be plotted using gist and Fox plan to make a Fox plot. Now I am going to make inferential data analysis. I am going to test the hypothesis. Now this is our problem description. The data set is a collection of 60 observations um, of tooth growth of Guinea pigs, and the effect of dose of, I am going to find out the effect of dose of vitamin C, and growth. And the delivery method, there are two delivery methods. I am going to give orange juice and vitamin C to the uh, pigs, and I am going to measure the tooth length. Also, the dose, there are three different type of dosages are given: 0.5 milligram per day, 1 milligram per day, and 2 milligram per day. The analysis of both will be done as follow in the following slides. And first, I import the data set, and that tooth growth data set is available in this particular data sets. So I import this. Then I use the command str to display the features of this tooth growth. This says it is a data frame consists of 60 observations of three variables: length, supplement, and dose. Length is length of the tooth. It may be 4.2, 11.5, etc. Some few data are they are displayed here. Supplement, there are two levels. It is orange juice or vitamin C. Orange juice is classified as number 1, and vitamin C is classified as number 2. So 1 will be displayed here. 2 or either 2 or 1 will be displayed here. And dosage is consist of dosage may be either zero point 0.5 or zero point 0.5 or 1 or 2 milligrams per day. So it may be for a few data, few set of data are 0.5, then 1 and 0.2 maybe appears in the next set. The data, I use the data set called tooth growth. Now is print the summary statistics. The summary statistics tells the summary of measures, minimum value, first quartile value, median value, mean, third quartile, and maximum value for each of the variables: length, supplement, or it may be dose. So these are the data corresponding to the summary of tooth growth. Now we are going to analyze this using point plot. Let us plot what the data looks like, where the tooth length is a function of dosage, and the color code for the supplement type use. So here I used a command called ggplot. For this, require ggplot to be imported, and can you use I use a point plot. So using point plot, I am going to plot this. I plot in x-axis dose and y-axis length. So and my data will be look like this. So these are the corresponding to doses: 0.5 milligram per day, 1 milligram per day, 2 milligram per day. And this is the minimum length of the tooth, and this is the maximum length of the tooth for 5 gram of 5 milligrams of supplement. For 1 milligram, this corresponds to 1 milligram and this corresponds to 2 milligram. Here and from this graph you find that as dosage increases, the tooth lengths also increase. For 0.5 milligram, minimum is maximum about 22, and for 1 milligram of supplement, the minimum will be around 14, and maximum will be around 27. And for 2 milligrams, it will be around 17, 17, and the maximum will be around 30, 35 or 34. So when dosage increases, the tooth length also increases. Next, it also appears that for lower dosages of OG, delivery leads to more growth than the uh, OG has more growth rate than PC delivery. This is implied by this color of the color code of OJ. So you find that OJ, the color code OJ dominates over the length. In most of the maximum values appears from the orange juice, and many lower values are for this VC. Uh, uh, so orange juice delivery may lead to more growth rate than vitamin C. Now analyze the same data using another plot called box plot. Um, can use jam box plot. This is the title is dispersion. X lab plot dose and y axis y plot length. Uh, the label y label is tooth length, and find that this is the box plot. The box plot, these are called outliers. This is minimum value, minimum tooth value. And this is maximum tooth value. And from this point to mean lies between, that is 50% of the data will be lies in this region. And 25% will be here, 25% here, 25%, and from this remaining 25%. And if you plot this curve, it will be if you join these lines, it will be a uh, left skewed, left skewed. And here it will be the for 1 gram, it will be slightly different. Minimum shots here about 14, and maximum will be here. So this will be look like normal. Normal distributor. This is left skewed. Here from this we observe that if the dose is higher, the teeth will be, the length of the teeth will be longer. For 0.5 minimum is this value and maximum this. For when increase dose, the teeth length also increases. Minimum value here about 19, and the maximum will be about 34 for 2 milligrams of dosage. So the dosage has some effect on the tooth of the growth. And we also infer that it will progressively for approximately twice of 0.5. 1 milligram is twice of 0.5, and the progression then decreases for 0.2. Here we find that this will be approximately twice, then the difference will be lowered for this data. See this level. and see these two level. So the position of these boxes are not same. So this also has a first clue that the length of the tooth depends on the dose. So next we use another method called the delivery method. Delivery method. Here we plot x-axis supplement and y-axis length. Whether the supplement has some effect on the length of the tooth, we use this plot. So this will be look like this. Here we observe that the box plot looks similar, but there is a little difference in the median. So if the time is over, please remain me, sir. Few one or two few slides are available. This implies that for orange juice, the higher values are more effective than lower values. So this is the t-test. T-test length, the supplement versus orange juice, paired t-test. Here we find that there is a two difference mean is not equal to 0. So this means that p-value is only 0.06, and which is closer to the level alpha equal to 0.5. So we do not reject the null hypothesis. So from this analysis, we find that we infer that the quantity of vitamin C has some significant effect on the tooth growth rate. And also we observe the following: the p-value is approximately 0, and we reject null hypothesis. The confidence level does not contain 0. So similar can be taken in the by comparing dose 2 and dose 1 2. This is identical with the already discussed box plot. This is analysis of variance. Here we find that whether there is a effect on effect of supplement has effect on length. Here we find that this symbol 0.0, if the simple represents the effect of the second variable on the first variable, response variable on the explanatory variable. If the symbol has 3 star, then it has a strong effect. These variables and the supplementally strongly affect the length of the teeth. At this is 1%, 0.1% level. This is between 1% level, 0.1 to 1% level. If it has 2 star, it means that it has some effect on 1% to 5%, and this has a mild effect. So the value of FTC is also 0.64. We fail to reject null hypothesis at 0.5. Yeah, next we analyze length versus dose. This gives the symbol. You see the symbol here, the 3 star. The 3 star means there's a strong effect. The dosage has a strong effect on the length of the tooth. Already, this is also inferred also from the box plot and dot plot. When we increases the dose, the length of the tooth also increases. So by this, we can analyze the data using charts as well as using pair redistribution analysis of variance. So this is my conclusion. The vitamin C has significant influence on the growth of genetics. The delivery methods does not have any significant effect on the tooth growth, and also infer that whenever we increase the dosage, it will affect the tooth growth, tooth rate also increases. Thank you all, sir, for giving me an opportunity. Now, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. I am feel free. If I am able to clear the doubts, I can clear now.
The participants can ask for doubt through chat window if you have. If anybody is having doubt, please raise your doubts. So forenoon session admins link is also available in the chat window. Thank you, sir. Nobody
Thank you.
asking any doubt.
Sir,
Thank you
thank
for
sir.
giving a valuable lecture and
Okay,
case
sir.
study discussion. Instead
Okay,
of your busy schedule accepting our invitation, we thank you once
It's
again.
my
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
it's my pleasure, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Shall I close this, sir?
Yes, why?
And I am leaving the meeting, sir.
All right. Participants, please